You know, one thing that I think was a huge disadvantage growing up is that we never had conversations about money. We never had conversations about credit. We never had conversations about acquisitions, how to get things, how to do certain things that are seemingly normal. You know, my grandfather was the last legitimate homeowner that I knew, and it just wasn't a whole lot of education as far as saving money, setting aside rainy day, setting goals for things that you wanted to acquire. It was more so along the lines of what you learned about money, what you learned about finances, what you learned about credit was when you needed it and scrambling to try to get it. You start looking around and you start realizing that it's like the world will quickly pass you by, and what you don't know can and will hurt you. Consequently, it took me a nice long while to finally really grasp an understanding of how the credit system works, what I need to do in order to maintain good credit. And it's a lot more than just paying your bills on time. You know, what type of credit to choose, what type of opportunities to choose, what things that you need to do and when you need to do them. Student loan debt versus medical debt. I mean, it was just so many different variables that I was so unfamiliar with. By no means is this shade toward my parents or what they did or didn't do. I really truly believe that they did what they knew. But I say that to say this, that there's so many people who don't have any type of literacy when it comes down to finances. They have no understanding how money works or how money is even used as a tool. And I think that we need to get to a place to where we normalize having those conversations. I think it's a great disservice when you don't educate people properly on credit cards, how much of it to use, what reflects best on your credit report. If you get into financial trouble, what you need to do in order to try to pull yourself back out. I think that in the days of the Klarnas, the oh God, what are some of these places? Some of these apps, because I don't want to get too lost in the names, but you know, some of these apps to where you can afterpays and things like that, you can get caught into these webs of paying interest over long periods of time because you're buying into the comfort of easy payments. And before you know it, you're doing the same thing with these systems that you would be doing with credit cards, to where you're buying everything that you need, but then you're trying to stretch out things that you should be able to buy in one setting over the course of 12 months, 24 months, 6 months, whatever have you. I don't think that many of us have ever really gotten a full-length, full detailed understanding of how to deal with money, how to deal with credit, and anything regarding finances. I think that that's why so many of us are so disillusioned by fortune and being rich, because we just want to buy a bunch of stuff, but we don't understand that in order to do that, you have to discipline yourself in the short term for the long-term experience. I think that also there's a lot of us that we try to use buying a bunch of stuff as coping mechanisms for everything that we felt that we lacked coming up. I mean, there's variables to that, and I could be wrong, I could be right. I mean, it depends on, you know, different strokes for different folks. All I'm saying is this: if you have children, cousins, aunties, uncles, and you have a good understanding of the monetary system, take a little time out and whisper in somebody's ear. If you understand what it's like to be in a lot of debt and to pull yourself out of that debt, whisper in somebody's ear. Try to help somebody out with it, because guess what? You have all of this record debt, all of these default student loans, going to school for BS careers. I mean, there's so many different facets that, you know, it's just unimaginable what some people are dealing with credit-wise. Going into careers that feel good but don't pay good, and now you find yourself working as an assistant manager in a retail establishment somewhere because you need to make enough money to live. Well, I went to school for psychology. Well, there's nobody paying in psychology. Or I went to school for social science, criminal justice. Well, you did all that for a $45,000 a year job and to work more hours than you actually are on the clock getting paid for. I mean, listen, that's a rabbit hole all of its own. But finances, man, I think that we need to normalize talking about it. Not just in the sense of credit cards, debit cards, bank accounts, loans, but also career choices. The things that we do, what's paying the money, how to properly look into supply and demand and understand what to invest your time into. You know, stocks, understanding the financial system, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, like it's a lot. But we got to get to a place to where that stigma, so to speak, of discussing money can go away. We're drowning without it. The young people are walking into situations that they are completely unfamiliar with, and the only people that can tell us what to do or what not to do are generally people that have already screwed up. Anyway, that's my time, man. Peace.